So thank you for agreeing to meet with me today. I'm just going to be asking you a few questions about Walk with Sally and how you got involved in the organization.
Great.
So the first question is, how has this organization impacted you?
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be a part of this interview. Walk with Sally has been really special for me because it marked for me the first time that I've been involved in a cancer-related organization. And for a while, I'm post-diagnosis by about 5 years. And so I went through my own experience, and the journey of going through cancer was just not really one I wanted to necessarily be reminded of. And so I didn't get involved with cancer-related nonprofits or volunteering until I really felt like in my heart I was ready. And so for me, Walk with Sally has been neat because it allowed me to step into that place of being able to be of service in a way that I felt really had, it mattered, like it really had an impact. And did that answer your question?
Yeah,
Okay.
it did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what it's meant for me.
Yeah. That's just amazing. I'm glad you could find that outlet to kind of come full circle on your cancer journey. Yeah. So that kind of answers my next question, which is, why did you join Walk with Sally?
And there's a little bit more to that story. It's interesting because, as I mentioned, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to give back. I knew at some point I would get involved with some sort of cancer-related organization, but Walk with Sally approached me and asked me to be a part of their advisory board. A cousin of mine had been a volunteer for quite some time and thought I would be a good fit, and had talked with Walk with Sally about me. And so I went to one of their events and very quickly realized that the people who work there are just so heart-centered, just so clearly dedicated to a mission of making a difference, that I realized it would be really aligned for me, and I would be very privileged to join them.
That's great. So how did your journey affect you and your family?
My cancer journey?
Yes.
Oh gosh. So yeah, 5 years ago I was diagnosed on Valentine's Day. And I have to say it was the biggest heartbreaking, struggle, painful, scary time of my life.
As to be expected.
Yeah. And so, how it affected us is it really changed everything right away. Going into treatment, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, was just, it impacted life for everyone. Losing my hair, my kids were just really affected by it. In some ways it taught us to get real about our emotions and really be okay with that. In some ways, it allowed us to really open up and be very vulnerable with one another, and to admit when we were scared, and cry when we were sad, and punch when we were angry. In fact, one of the stories is when we were really our most frustrated with cancer, we put on boxing gloves, and I had a big bean bag down in the basement, and we would put cancer up on the beanbag on a piece of paper, or chemotherapy or surgery, and we would just really let our emotions out and just let all of that be okay. So it also taught us a lot about resilience and what that means, and I'm very grateful for that experience.
Yeah, so it gave you a whole new kind of outlook on life, it sounds like.
It really did. It changed everything for me. It was a big perspective shift for me, because I just really started looking at how I was running my life before, and whether or not that really brought me joy, which ultimately contributes to your health.
Wow, your story is just amazing. How you didn't let it keep you down. It's really inspiring. Okay, my next question is, do you feel that this organization really makes an impact on the children whose parents have or are battling cancer?
Yeah, so absolutely. And I can say that because I've actually met with the folks who volunteer as a part of the program. So the mentors that are partnered with the children who are affected by cancer in some way, whether it's their parents going through the cancer experience or a guardian. Um, so as I work with the mentors, I can really see and hear in the stories and what they're sharing about how they engage with the kids and connect with the kids and really allow the kids to just kind of know that they have a friend in this no matter what happens to be going on at home. So I think it's a remarkable kind of way to serve the cancer community.
Okay. And where does Walk with Sally have the most impact?
Well, it's a local organization based in Manhattan Beach. So immediately, I'd say certainly in this local LA, kind of greater LA area. They haven't expanded past this area, but they are really involved now and saturated in the greater Los Angeles community and actually starting to branch out into other areas. I know that their vision is to grow, as big as I suppose the need is, and the need is pretty big.
Yeah. And my last question is, do you think, what do you think could better walk with Sally, if there is anything?
I think as far as just growing and improving, and every organization can do that, one of the things that I'm involved in is looking at their meetings and support systems for the mentors of these children. So how can the organization, for instance, continue to really arm the mentors that have FaceTime with the families and with the kids with tools and ways of being that allow them to be the best support system for the kids is really the question that we're exploring together. And part of what I do is emotional intelligence training. So it's really bringing some of that aspect in so that the mentors really have a very strong support system for the volunteer work that they're doing in these families.
It's amazing. Let me just say thank you for all the work that you've done to help, better the next generation of our community. It's really incredible.
Well, it's my pleasure, and really I'm just a tiny little cog in a big wheel of volunteers that are doing remarkable things and really making a difference. So it's really an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.